Welcome to episode 6, the final in our series, So You Decided to Make Your Own Indie Game. So far, we've taken you on a journey from conception, through funding, development, and even marketing. As with any project, the ending is a time for reflection, identifying what went right, and where the mistakes were made, and most importantly, how to avoid them the next time round. In this final episode, we're asking our industry friends how their development process has changed over the years and what they do now that's helped them evolve the way they work.
I think that in general we are more aware, we are more experienced as well. There is still a lot of work to do, but we are also aware of this. We were also ready to keep studying, to continue growing, and to make sure that we learn from our mistakes.
You need to adapt to the environment that you plan to release in, and things move and change at lightning speed. Whatever worked last time may not work this time. You have to stay abreast of what's going on. You have to keep yourself informed. Markets change, platforms change, the way that you get visibility on those platforms changes, trends change. You need to be flexible. You need to not marry yourself to a method because it worked for you 5 years ago, because what worked 5 years ago probably won't work now.
With changes to the workflow, often comes change to the final product as well. Developers can make hundreds of decisions throughout the process, and many of them involve shifting the outcome or final vision of a game.
The original idea and the story and the format of the game, I don't think it changed too much. That it's more or less the same from the very early stage. The content, although, has doubled because we feel like we would like our player to experience more, and then now with some funding, we are allowed to experience more ourselves as well. Like some of the level, we do not know that we have the ability to make them, but we decide to take the risk to actually to see whether we can make it or not.
I believe that the design of the game went through 22 separate prototypes before we decided on the current look of the game. Once you nail the systems and the visual language, it actually becomes easy to iterate on that process and grow things more in a more serious and more crunchy way, if you like, or you can streamline things depending on how casual you want your game to be. So the game that we made in the first early prototype stages of Mini Motorways looks nothing like the current edition of the game, but in a lot of ways it is actually the same game. It's got the same skeleton.
Don't be afraid to adapt your game. Of course, if that's not something, or if certain integrations or partnerships aren't what you consider to be part of your vision, that's perfectly fine. But I would keep an open mind about changes to your game as long as they can benefit you at the end of the day, or there's a chance to benefit you through some increased visibility.
Finally, let's hear the advice our developers and publishers have for first-timers in the industry, asking them the pointers they wish they'd had when just starting out.
The thing is, you should adjust your expectations to the kind of work you're about to undertake, because just like any other creative endeavor, making a game is a process. Which means that there is a very good chance that your first title won't be as good or polished or fleshed out or even successful as you expect it to be. But in a sense, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's actually supposed to be like that. Because just like you couldn't build a palace, a castle, without having painted a wall before, you can't expect to be making the next game of the year if you've never made a game before.
When you develop a game, there is no magic recipe you can follow to make sure that the game will be successful. You can make everything the right way, if a right way exists anyway, and still not release the biggest success of the year. So I'm not saying this is about luck, but there are a lot of things to consider, and probably only the experience will help you focus on the right things.
Thanks for joining us on this journey towards making your own indie game. If you've missed any episodes in the series, make sure you head back and watch the ones you may have missed. Accompanying articles with more detailed advice from our game industry veterans are available on our website. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. Do you think you have what it takes to make your own indie game? What do you plan to make for your first gaming creation?